समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, we start with verse 22. श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति. Light, activity, and delusion when present, O Pandava, he hates not, nor longs for them when they are absent. These three, light, activity, and delusion, obviously are the qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Okay. Now he says that when they are there, when they are, he says when he hates not. So when they are there, he is not affected by them in any possible way. And when they are not there, when they are absent, because see, the mind keeps on changing. These are qualities of the mind and body. So when the mind, intellect, body, which keeps on changing all the time, sometimes happy, unhappy, contented, disappointed, bright, alert, all kind of things keep happening to us all the time. Sometimes sleepy, lazy. Now then, but he is unaffected by these changes because they are like climates. Just like climate will change, similarly, these will also change. You bear up with the climate because you know that it will change, and it will come also, that also you know. So you try to enjoy every change that is possible and every change that comes. See, even a realized master's body will have all the three gunas. Okay, no body, physical body, none of the physical bodies can do without having all these gunas. So the master will have these gunas, but he is unaffected by them, whereas people like you and I are affected by them all the time. We like them, we don't like them, we want them to go, we want them to come, all that. So here he says that the gunas keep coming and going, they will come and go, but the realized master, he does not clutch on to anyone, and he does not then feel sorry or sad if he doesn't like it, and if he wants it, he doesn't long for it also. So he keeps. And how can this happen? Tell me that. How can this happen? It can only happen when you distance yourself from the jiva bhava. Jiva bhava is that I am the mind, I am the ego, I am the intellect, I am the body, I am my thoughts. This is jiva bhava. And when until and you see, until you distance yourself and you can watch all this happening separately, not to yourself but to your mind and intellect, you are not your mind and intellect, you are not your body. That is what Vedanta has again and again and again told us. So many times in my talks I have also said to you that even we use the pronoun of belonging, my body, my hand, my mind. So there is an entity to which all this belongs. So you are that entity, to whom the body belongs, the mind belongs, and all these gunas belong to the body, mind, and intellect. Now, see, light and activity and illusion. Now, let us take light. Light over here just means bright intellect. The bright intellect, alertness, creativity, cheerfulness, joyfulness. That is what is meant by light. That is a person of sattva. और दूसरा क्या है? Activity. Naturally, all kind of activity, when it is generated, it is rajas and nothing else. Activity is generated by past desires, traces of past desires, which are called vasanas. Activity is generated, and your whole body, mind, and intellect sanghat is propelled by that desire. So they can't sit, they have to keep on jumping, and they keep on. Tamas also, that is delusion, dullness, lethargy, procrastination, sleepiness, all that are qualities of tamas. But the man of self knowledge, he neither longs for any of these when they are absent, nor he hates any one of these when they are coming, because he understands that all these happen by themselves. They will happen because of your attachment to things and beings and situations. Okay. So now see, Gurudev used to give the example that when a person wakes up from a dream, the realized man is not affected by these. How? Because he has understood that he is not the body. So when a person becomes a waker, he has understood that he is not the dreamer. So the dreamers, in the dream, all your agitations, your activities, your alertness, your sensitivity, or whatever has happened in the dream, your wife who died, your son who ran away, your this or that, whatever happened in the dream, none of this can affect the waker, because he is totally disidentified from the dreamer once he wakes up. So the realized master, the same thing happens to the realized master. That eh, it it is totally irrelevant for him. It is immaterial for him. It is useless for him whether these qualities come or they go from his mind. And he is established in himself, in his true personality, the pure consciousness. Come to the next one. उदासीनवदासीनो गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणा वर्तन्त इत्यैव योऽवतिष्ठति निङ्गते. He who seated like one, unconcerned, is moved not by the gunas. Okay? Who, knowing that the gunas operate, is self-centered and swerves not. ये जो है ना, न विचाल्यते, न विचाल्यते, that means does not move. चलना तो सब लोग जानते हैं ना, चलना. हाँ, न विचाल्यते means his mind does not get agitated, does not start jumping, does not start moving about, is stationary, whether anything else happens or not. Now, he who seated like one, unconcerned. So, he is totally unconcerned by what is happening to the body and mind, because he understands that the next verse will tell you, Guna Guneshu Vartante. The gunas are interplaying amongst themselves in connection with the body, mind, and intellect. Whatever is happening to them is outside. Don't internalize them. Externalize those things. Once you externalize all those, you watch as if you are watching from a balcony. What is happening on the street? you are watching from the balcony is not happening to you. Yeah, is not happening to you, and you are unconcerned with it. You allow it to happen to you when you identify with your son, you identify with your daughter, you identify with your husband or wife, you identify with your car, with your house, with your jewelry, with your, these days with the cell phone, isn't it? So you identify with that, that this is mine. So when it goes away, you are so agitated. You have to be agitated. The more the identification with the objects of the world, the situations of the world, the more agitated you will be when they are not there. So this person clearly understands in his wisdom. He is seated like one unconcerned. Supposing somebody else's car is stolen, how do you react? You sympathize with him, but are you concerned? Are you unhappy? Are you agitated? Are you running about? No, it is his car. You do not identify with it, isn't it? It's all a question of identifying with the body, mind, and intellect. You identify with the body, mind, and intellect, you will be agitated. Hmm? Also, you know, we try to judge other people by their behavior when they are under the influence of different gunas. See, A, you are nobody to judge. B, because you do not know that person's past, you do not know that person's situations, which have created the interplay of those gunas on his mind and body. See, people are very quick to judge actors and actresses. This one married so and so, divorced so and so, this one married 4 times, this one married 8 times, and you say, ha, who, oh, really, this, that, you keep doing. Why? Because you see, their situations, you are not in that situation, and you have never lived that situation. Nor are you that good looking, nor do you come in personal physical contact with so many good looking people. Nor then, how do you know how you would have behaved in those situations? No. So don't judge others. We should not judge others by what they are doing and what they are not going, because your situations are different, your mindset is different, your conditioning is different, your education is different, the situations in which you were brought up, the family surrounding which conditioned your mind is all different. So then the thing is that to judge somebody, there is no level playing field for anybody. Everybody is different, including the realized master understands that the gunas are operating amongst themselves. Even things like Gurudev says, like sneezing, yawning of the body, they are natural happenings of the body, and you accept them. You carrying on your work because you know that this is happening to the body, it's not happening to me, isn't it? Same way, when anything else happens to the body, mind, and intellect, don't be affected by it. The Geeta Acharya is trying to tell us that you must stay away from it. See, being in this world, over here, Gurudev used to very clearly say that the real test of a perfect master is, because Arjun has asked, how does he behave in the world outside? So the real test of the master is in the world. When he is doing all this in the world, this detachment. If he is sitting in a forest or somewhere where in some remote Himalayan cave or something, or he is sitting under a tree somewhere, and he does not have those situations around him, so he's a very big Mahatma. No. When with the grievous of gunas interaction, na vichalyate, when he is not disturbed by the actions of the gunas, then it is he is na vichalyate, he is a saint. He is a realized master because he is sitting somewhere else. He is sitting in his true self. He is sitting in his true nature. The body, mind, and intellect is not his nature. Okay? The Dekho, Gurudev used to say that the true dharma of anybody is tested when he is crushed. ओके, जैसे आप किसी पत्ते को क्रश करो तो उसमें से बदबू आती है, इट स्मेल्स बैड, बट यू क्रश समथिंग विच इज हैज फ्रेग्रेंस, crush a rose petal and then smell it, it will give out fragrance. It even it even brings fragrance to the fingers that have crushed it. That is the true dharma of the rose, right? And similarly, there is a flower called garlic flower. You crush the leaf of a garlic creeper and then smell. My God, terrible garlic smell. That is the dharma of that plant, isn't it? So it's like that, you know. Now, the dharma of a realized master, no matter how harsh the situations are around him, he will still keep smiling. He will still be happy with any situation. He is still happy and calm, quiet, equipoised in any marketplace situation. He is like that. And now he says this is one thing interesting. He says, as though unconcerned, like, huh? Udasin iv, udasin iv udasin. ये है like one unconcerned is moved not. So he is compared to something that does not move at all. Okay, as though unconcerned. His inward personality does not undergo any change. The things around go on changing, continuously go on changing. The outward personality of man, as well as the inward personality of man, of a general person like you and me, is continuously changing. Gurudev compares it to a kaleidoscope. You remember in childhood we used to see that thing with broken glass pieces in it and they keep forming patterns every time you turn it. So it is something like that. A realized master understands that change is the absolute nature of the world. Sansarati is called sansar. Anything that is sarkna jante hain, goes on moving. That is sansar. So he understands that. So the changes in himself or the changes around him, he is not affected by. This is the sadhana we must all do. Gurudev used to give it as a homework. Keep all the time observing the change around you and the change even inside you. Your mind goes on changing. We know it, no? Sometimes happy, sometimes sleepy, sometimes dull, sometimes alert, sometimes creative, isn't it? So observe that from outside, away from it. Be an observer. Gurudev used to say, be a witness, looking from the balcony of inside, looking outside as well as inside. Okay. Now, here, that is established in the divine nature. And the word they have used is avatishtati. Avatishtati. So, avatishtati means nicely seated, mastered himself, firmly seated in the inside, unshakable. Okay, come to the next verse. समदुःख सुख स्वस्थः समलोष्टाश्म काञ्चनः तुल्य प्रिया प्रियो धीरः तुल्य निन्दात्म संस्कृति. It says, alike in pleasure and pain, who dwells in the self To whom a clod of earth, precious stone, or gold are alike, to whom the dear and the not dear are alike, firm, the same in censure and praise. So, in short, a dead person. You know, this is what you and I think, that a person who's like this, how can he be like this? How can anybody be like this? Now, understand one thing. All these things, all these things in the objective world, he understands. It's not that he becomes insane, that he doesn't understand what is gold and what is a lump of clay or what is a stone. It's not like that, that he doesn't understand those things. It is only, see, the value that you put on anything is put by you. Think about it very carefully. Nothing in the world has value. You put the value on that thing. Giving you an example, give a very precious diamond to a child. What value does he have for that? He'll see the glitter and everything for a little while. After that, you give him a red colored lollipop. He'll throw the diamond and catch hold of the lollipop because the color attracts him and he holds that. So the diamond doesn't have any value for him, the color has. Whereas the same diamond given to a jeweler, maybe even you do not know the value of that diamond that that jeweler puts on that diamond, isn't it? The value of that same diamond, it's a stone, carbon, and here he sells it to some great big rich person and sells it for much more than its value. So who is putting the value on that diamond? That rich man. That rich man then gifts it to his wife. The wife has a huge value for it. My husband gave this to me on my first wedding anniversary. For lifelong, she has the value of that diamond, high value, highest value in her mind. Okay. So, who are the people? It is basically just a carbon. है ना? पत्थर है, उस पे वैल्यू लगाते जा रहे हैं लोग अलग अलग अलग, राइट फ्रॉम द चाइल्ड टू द रिच मैन्स वाइफ. हाउ मेनी पीपल हैव चेंज्ड वैल्यूज? टेल मी, है या नहीं? द वैल्यू ऑफ द फ्लैग, योर कंट्रीज फ्लैग, what is it? It is just a piece of silk fluttering in the breeze. Soldiers die for it. Martyrs die for that piece of silk, to uphold the dignity of that piece of silk, isn't it? But the piece of silk, same flag of another country, batao, do you die for it? Do you stand up and salute it? No, because you do not identify to it, and also you have no value for that. Who has put the value on that silk flag? You. My father's picture. My father's picture is a piece of paper. The value of it is huge for me. I bow down to it. I offer flowers to it. I garland it and I pray to it every day. How about my neighbor? Neighbor looks at it. Oh, yeah, it's your father. Very nice. Moves on. It has no value for my neighbor. Who has put the value on that piece of paper? Me. So please understand that whether it is a piece of clay or it is gold, these are all different forms of mud. They have sprung from mud. All these three things have sprung from mud. They are basically mud. The value has been put by you and me. And the more value we put on it, the more we suffer. The more we suffer. Understand that very clearly. Okay. So the realized master is totally self-composed, understanding that he is totally equipoised, he is completely calm, and he understands that no matter what it is, these are changing. This is a value which is not its real value. Real value is nothing. Gurudev used to say here that, also pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain, sorrow, sukha dukha. Sukha dukha are actually happiness and unhappiness. So, happiness and unhappiness are reactions of your mind. They are not conditions of a situation. Take, for example, death. Death is a natural phenomena or not? Does every death make you cry? Does every death bring mourning into your household? No. How come that when there is a death in the family, everybody in the family is crying, everybody is sad, everybody is very, very unhappy, your stomach is churned, you can't even eat your food out of grief? Why? Identification with the body that turned to dust, whom you thought was a part of you, isn't it? Again, identification. So, sorrow and happiness are reactions of the mind depending on the conducive and non conducive situations around in the world, depending on the likes and dislikes, yours, of the world, isn't it? Hmm. Someone is very happy with Karela, that, bitter gourd served to you, and because it's an acquired taste and some people love it. Poor Gurudev, everybody used to serve him that Karela. And he says that I just hate it, but the only thing is that I have to quietly eat the whole of it and also praise it. And the moment Gurudev used to praise it, the housewife used to put one more in his plate and say, Swamiji, take one more, isn't it? And the things of the world have a strange way. Things that you do not like have a way of running towards you, and things that you love have a way of running away from you. So, this is the nature of Maya. It is like a shadow. Understand, this is the example given of Maya. It is like a shadow. You run to catch your shadow, the shadow keeps running ahead of you. You turn around and run away from the shadow will follow you. No matter where you go, the shadow will come behind you. That is Maya. Okay? So over here, happiness, unhappiness, and he is not affected by, because he understands that they are reactions of his mind. They do not touch him at all. That is why, what is counseling all about? Tell me. When a disturbed person reaches a counselor, what does the counselor do? He doesn't change the situation. He changes the mind of the person who is looking at that situation. He tries to counsel the mind into thinking differently and thereby bringing happiness or contentment or satisfaction in the person's mind. That's all, isn't it? So, even here in the Gita, what is Krishna doing? Krishna has not changed the situation for Arjun. Nowhere. He says you have to fight the war. I can't help you there. And I'm not going to help you in the war. But what does he do? He changes Arjuna's mental attitude towards the battle. That is all. So the disturbed Arjuna becomes a firm, brave warrior. And he fights the battle in a very serene, composed, calm, determined manner. Okay. So then here it is. Now then, we all have to understand, once you understand that all situations change, one situation has to die for the other situation to be born, you distance yourself from it. The entire sadhana is to remain within yourself and not do a gatbandhan with changing situations. Okay. Now, Gurudev used to say that cultivate the garden of your mind all the time. Pull out all the weeds. And he used to say the wrong, impure, useless thoughts are the weeds that give you sorrow. And cultivate, after pulling them out, cultivate the garden with noble thoughts. That is the manure and the sunlight, and water it with compassionate thoughts, intelligent thoughts and actions, nobly thought out and planned. And then he used to say that the water it daily with what? He says water it daily with divine thoughts, and the possibilities of beautiful flowers in your life will come out. And you will be a master. You can water it with japa, you can water it with sadhana, you can water your mind with the whole, jitni bhi sadhana hai na, they are the water, sunlight and manure for the mind to become, the garden of the mind to become fertile and pure. So that is what Gurudev used to say, that become a gardener. Hmm. And then you can command flowers into your garden. Beautiful divine flowers will blossom on your command, no matter what the situation or circumstances are. Okay. Now, acha. Then one very interesting word over here is self-abiding swastha. ये देखो, sama sukha dukha swastha. What is swastha? This word is generally translated as healthy. है ना? This person is स्वस्थ, that person is स्वस्थ, ऐसा नहीं है. इसके दो मीनिंग्स हैं संस्कृत में. One meaning of स्वस्थ, स्व is yourself and stha is firmly seated in. So swastha means detaching from everything outside and sitting firmly in yourself, not tying the sari ends with this and that, what you call apron strings. Don't tie apron strings with all possible situations, circumstances, people. When they change, you will be unhappy. Swastha meaning set firmly inside, withdraw from the world mentally, not physically. We all need the world physically. We need to eat, we need clothes, we need a house, we need a car, we need everything. So you don't have to leave anything outside. As I always say, बाहर से पकड़ो, अंदर से छोड़ो. तो जब आप अंदर से छोड़ते हैं उसको, it doesn't affect you whether it is there or not there. So one meaning of swastha is that. The other Sanskrit meaning of swastha is happy, cheerful, contented. Happy, cheerful, and contented is swastha. Nowhere does it say healthy. The other meaning is the person who is absolutely content with the way life is. He is blooming where he is planted, and he takes every situation as prasada from the Lord, as prasad bhakti. He accepts everything, and understand that whatever the Lord does is good, and he never can do anything wrong. There is a super intelligence that works according to laws, and that does not ever go wrong. And so if you cultivate noble thoughts, okay, the laws of thought are such that whatever are your thoughts, that will be your situation in life. Believe it. Especially your bodily health, your mental health depends on your thoughts. If you have pure and noble thoughts, it will shower health on your body and mind. Believe it. That is true. People with pure minds, people who are not affected by situations, people who do this sadhana of being just a witness of the outside world, their mind always stays happy. Okay. Now I've done this, that pleasure and pain, it is that no situation in the world is either painful, sorrowful, or uh, it can give you happiness. It has no potential of giving you happiness. The happiness is in your mind. You think that this particular situation or this particular object, if I get, it will give me happiness. So it gives you happiness. Never does it happen that all girls are in love with the same boy, or all the boys are in love with the same girl. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So how do you fall in love? You fall in love according to your own temperament, your own tendencies towards a person. That I like this in a person, I like that in a person, and if that person has those qualities, you fall in love. Everybody doesn't fall in love with the same person, isn't it? So that is what I'm trying to tell you, is that no object has the power to give you happiness or sorrow. Happiness and sorrow emerge from your own mind. There, as Gurudev writes, that there is no uniform reaction of everybody to the same object. Even in food, isn't it? Somebody likes a certain vegetable, somebody hates the same vegetable. Somebody loves the same vegetable, they eat it every day. कैसे होता है? From your own mind. The vegetable doesn't have happiness or sorrow. The vegetable does not have taste or distaste. It is your mind. So ठीक है. Therefore, you must understand that all your thoughts are colored by your own likes and dislikes, your own vasanas, your own identification, everything. देखो गुरुदेव ने कितना बढ़िया एग्जाम्पल दिया है ऑफ चिल्ड्रन. He's given you the example of children. We all know, na, we used to collect marbles and stones of different color, feathers of different color. Children have this habit of collecting stamps of different countries. They collect seashells. They collect all kind of thing, and they keep collecting those for some time till the desire to possess them is overtaken by the desire to possess better toys. So these toys are given off very generously to the younger brother or sister. And the younger brother or sister thinks he's got a treasure. Because why? He still has the vasanas for those kind of things. You have outgrown the charm. So where did the charm come from? Your mind. Where did the charm go away? From your mind. And your mind has got now charm for something other than those little toys. So the value of those toys and the happiness that those toys could give are put on it by the child himself. Once the child grows up, those values are gone. Okay. Similar is the case of beings in this world. है ना, लोग. हाँ, अब वो क्या हैं? All the reactions of this is my dear one, this is my hated one, this is my loved one, and that one I absolutely cannot stand, are what? They are reactions of your mind. Somebody whom you don't like at all is the beloved of someone else. So how come that happens? From his mind, he looks at him as a beloved. From your mind, he is the most hateful person in the world. All reactions of the mind alone. So a person who is a realized master understands that, and no matter what the objects and situations around are, he does not receive them from the colorations of his mind. He sees them as they are and puts them in their place. He does not allow anything to ride his mind because he doesn't receive it. That famous story of Buddha, that a man who hated Buddha, because even the realized masters, even the Lord himself gets his share of criticism and praise. So Buddha, somebody came and started abusing him. The disciples of Buddha were there with him and they got very disturbed. And they said, "Dear master, look at this man, how he is behaving. Shall we give it back to them? Give it back to him?" So the Buddha said, "If you have received it, you give it back. I have not received it." So he has to take back his abuses to his home. That is what the Buddha said. So you can't, you can, something that you have not received, how can it affect you? Think about it. Huh? Think about it. So that supposing somebody is abusing you in German, smilingly but abusing you in German, what is the reaction of your mind? Do you feel humiliated? Do you feel insulted? No. Why? Because your mind does not cognize it as an insult. There is no recognition of it as an insult in your mind. So, where does the reaction come from? Your own mind. It is not what the other person is doing or saying, it is how your mind is receiving that other thing. So, these are the examples to tell you that the realized master is the same in cheering or jeering, whether somebody is insulting him or somebody is praising him. He does not care because he neither accepts the cheering, he neither accepts the jeering. They are all belonging to his body, mind, and intellect, not to him. So, when you distance yourself from the Jiva Bhava, when you do not internalize other people's minds, please do not internalize other people's minds and emotions and thoughts. They are external to you. Leave them outside, and you will be a happy person, just like the realized master. Okay, so we finish here and we do verse 25 next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.